I'm sitting parked up in Langholm Road. This is at Bolton, I think it is. What I will say is, before I got to this street, there's a tight turn you're going to have to do. It's really tight off the main road. If you come round that in second gear, you're going to be on the other side of the road. So before you come to here, a couple of minutes before, there's a really tight corner. So I'll be doing a rolling first and be ready to stop when you go around the corner because it's very tight. Okay then, so this independent drive is at the end of the road, turn right, then follow signs for Sunland. Then it'll be city centre, Southwick, then Southwick Green. Now I'm going to tell you what you're more likely to feel for on this independent drive. The first scenario is the first one is the road near the Greyhound Stadium. Now that starts it opens to a 50, then it goes to a 60-mile-per-hour road. Now again, as I've said on previous videos, if you drive like an old granny along there, then you know you're going to feel if people start overtaking. That's where accidents happen. So you're going to feel for driving at appropriate speed. So although it's raining today, the roads is wet, slippy, so I'm not going to be doing nowhere near the speed limits. I'll probably be about 45, 50 on the national speed limit, and that's all depending on if it's nice and safe. Now, when you come to the next roundabout, from the signs for the city centre, it says follow the road ahead, second exit. Now, a lot of learners are picking the right lane here. Now, in my humble opinion, from the feedback I'm getting off my learners is, they get mixed up. They think there's a bus stop on approach. Now they think, oh, I can't drive through the bus stop, so they keep it the right lane, which you can drive through the bus stop. Bus stops and bus lanes are two separate things altogether. A bus lane has a solid white line. A bus stop is just a bus stop, a yellow writing on the road. So please pick the left lane. Then he's going to ask you to follow the signs for Southwick. Now, I've sat in the back of tests. I've seen some driving examiners not see anything. I've seen some driving exams here. You need to move into the right lane. So if he doesn't see anything, then you're looking for signs for Southwick. Now that means you've got to change lanes. Now I know what learners are like. So what you need to do is you need at least 2 dormer checks before you think about going into that right lane. The reason for this is, I say learners just look in the right dormer and cut across. What happens if somebody's in your blind spot? So what you need to do, check your middle mirror first of all, have a look in the right door mirror, have a look at the traffic, following traffic in the right lane, check the road ahead, and then have a final safe check. If you think it's safe to go over, put your signal on and just go over. Do not cut across the lanes at the last second without looking, or you'll get a serious fault for use of mirrors changing direction. And then after that, it's probably straightforward after that. Okay then, so Mr. Driving Examiner will pull you up on this Langholm Road at Bolton and say, this is the start of your independent drive, Ken. Now I'm going to ask you to follow signs. So he'll tell you the signs. Now what I'm going to do is do a little bit chit chat as I go through. Okay, so I'm looking all around the car, looking over my right shoulder. There's nobody in the area, so I'm not going to indicate. Got quite a few parked cars here. Got a pedestrian up ahead, got a car reverse. I'm just getting into the car there, so I'm just easing off my gas. I'm only doing 10 miles an hour along this road. The reason for this is we've got too many parked cars and the road is quite narrow. Now I'm watching for people shooting out the junctions, watch for the doors opening, watch for cars moving off, watch for people stepping out in front of cars, and that's why I'm driving so slow. So I'm only doing 12 miles an hour. I'm ready to nip into the left if a car comes. It's going to be classed as a meeting situation. It's my lucky day. There's no oncoming traffic. Now if somebody comes round here now, I'm just going to look for a passing place on the left. So it's at the end of the road, turn right, so it's in the middle and right door mirror, signal up for right. It's a closed junction, so I'm just letting the car roll up, covering the brake clutch down, selecting first gear, 1 car length back. I'm just going to stop the car dead because I can't see. Now the left's clear, the right's clear. I've got parked cars to the right. There's a car coming. There's a car pulling off from the wrong side on the other side of the road. So I'm just going to sit tight. Keep looking both ways. Leaning my body forward, lean the top off my body forward. Working that 6-pack knot. So I've got a car coming from my left. Can't see it the right because of the parked car. So when the left's clear, I'm going to start inching the car forwards. So I'm just edging forwards very slowly. There's a van coming from my left, so I'm stopping. And I've got a car coming from my right. Now I've edged out about a foot or so, but there's nothing wrong with that because I can't see. So I'm going to pinch and inch again, edging forwards. This car's turning left into the side road, and off I go around. Now as I straighten up, straight to second gear and check my middle mirror. I've got an oncoming van, so I'm just going to ease off the gas, not braking, just easing off, letting them get through, and then I can be on with my travel. So I'm checking my middle and right door mirror. Again, my speed's good. I'm only at the 20-mile-an-hour mark. The reason for this, as I said before, all of parked cars, just be very wary and be ready to stop. So I'm looking for signs for Sunderland, driving down the middle of the road here, and giving them cars about a metre, just less than a metre, but my speed's good because I'm at 20 miles an hour. Traffic lights is on red, you've got an oncoming car, there's pedestrians on the right hand side, easing off again down to 10 miles an hour. So there's the sign saying Sunderland A184 is to the left. So I check my middle left door mirror, just covering the brake, clutch down, just letting the car roll up and stopping a half a car length back. Putting my handbrake on, I'm just going to select neutral and just sit and wait for my lights changing. Now, while I'm sitting waiting, I'm watching for anybody coming up the left hand side of me, like cyclists, because you know what cyclists like. Lights is changing, there's the green, check my left door mirror again, signal down for left, and I'm just following this curb round. Okay. Now the right's clear. As I come round, I can see it's a nice straight road. Got a car on my left's going to pull out. Check my middle mirror. I've got an island refuge. You don't give way to them, remember. Be ready to stop though. Park cars to my left. Check my middle right door mirror. There's a hatch marking system in place, so you can go in that if it's necessary. It's safe to do so, which it is necessary here. My speed's only 20 because of the oncoming traffic in the parked cars. I'm making a little bit more progress. I'm now up to the 30 mark. Got another island refuge there. Just flicking them wipers on again. Now I can see the signs up ahead saying it's 50 miles per hour. Now I'm looking past the 50s. It looks like it's a nice clear road. So when I get to here, I'm going to check my middle and right door mirror, watch for anybody overtaking, which there's not. So I'm going to start to make a bit more progress. So I'm up to the 40, into fifth gear, and I'm up to 45. Now I'm quite comfortable with 45 miles per hour on this road. The reason for this is because the road is wet and they're very, very slippy. I'm nearly at the 50, got your repeater sign there. Now you have got the dog track down here, so be very careful, watch for stray dogs running across the road. You've got your solid white line, it's a narrow road, so I'm in the middle of the lane. Remember, you're not allowed to overtake here. I've got a warning sign there, just tell me the exit entrance into the stadium. The dog stadium, sorry. Now again, got solid white lines, nice and clear. I'm up to the 50, sorry, I'm up to the 45. Got the garage there to your right. It's clear, check my mirrors, car close behind, and I'm up to the 50 mark. Now again, like I say, it's just a narrow road, so I'm just keeping in the middle of this road. I've got your national speed limit sign, so I'm updating my mirrors again, middle and right. He's not overtaken. So I'm going to make a bit progress now. So I'm up to 55, I'm up to 60. But although I'm doing 6:55, I'm going to brake very early for this next roundabout. Now we see us again, follow the signs for city centre. Now remember, if you come to this road, please pick the left lane. If you pick the right lane, well, I'm afraid you're going to get a big fat fail. So I'm updating my mirrors, middle and right. Countdown markers for the roundabout. I'm coming off my gas at the 300-yard one. So it says there, city centre, 8:10:18 straight ahead. Covering my brake and I'm selecting third gear on approach. Keeping it to the left. Gone into fifth there actually. Speed limit changed to 40. Checking 12 o'clock, checking 3 o'clock. I can see a car coming from my right at 3 o'clock. So I'm just going to let it roll up to the white. He stops, so I'm just going to carry on in a second. If I go around, look, I'm keeping to the left. Check middle right door mirror and signal to leave the roundabout. Now I'm on a dual carriageway now. Now I have seen examiners say, I'll just cancel that signal because that car might pull out. Some learners say you need to take up the right lane. Some examiners, sorry, some say nothing. So I'm just going to sit here and wait till I see the signs for Southwick. And I'm anticipating this car pulling out in front of me, which he is. It's a 40 mile per hour road. I'm happy at 35. Check my right door mirror, nice and early. See this car well back. Now there's the sign down there. It says Southwick to the right. So check middle right door mirror. Another check. Now I can see it's clear. I'm going to give him a signal and move over. I'll have a sideways glance since I'm on video and put a signal on and move over. Now I'm going to cancel that signal just for the time being. Normally I would leave that on. So Southwick's to the right, the traffic lights are on red. So check middle again, just signal up for right. Now look at the arrows, they just tell you to move over to the right lane. Now we've got two sets of lights here. One set for going straight ahead, one set for turning right. How are you going to know when your lights are going to change? Well, When the left hand set goes straight ahead, see the left hand set's on green now. Now when them change back to red, you know your lights are going to change back to green. So if you're sitting waiting, handbrake on, the gear lever's in neutral and about a half a car length back. Just looking in the exit road to see what's in there. There's nothing much happening in that road. Lights is changing on the left. Into first, there we go. Green arrow turn right means you go straight around. Don't stop in the middle, whatever you do. Just keep going straight around. If you stop, you're toast. So I'm coming round, I'm on a 30 mph road. It's nice and clear, a lot of traffic in the right hand lane. Update my mirrors and I'm bang on the 30. Now again you've got junctions to the left and right which are nice and clear. You've got your hatch marking system, just separating the lanes. You've got a parked car, so check my middle and right door mirror. Just easing off the gas and moving out slightly. Give the car about a metre. A couple of more parked cars. Got bus stops to the right. The junction on the left's clear. Keeping to the middle of the lane, I'm sticking at the 30 miles an hour. Now he's going to change the signs now and see if follow the signs for Southwick green. That's pretty straightforward from here on in. However, be warned, when I come to this next roundabout, a few years back, I did have a learner driver fail because they were looking for the signs and they shaved the cars. Now you've got a zebra crossing red, so I'm checking my middle and right door mirrors. There's nobody walking towards it. It has an island in the middle, so you treat it as two separate crossings. So if somebody's crossing from the right, you still can go through. Again, another island refuge. You've got junctions left clear. The road bends left with a few parked cars left. Check my middle right door mirror. Again, I'm easing off the gas and selecting third gear now because the road's getting a bit narrower. And I can see the car up ahead's turn right, so I'm checking my middle mirror. Just rolling up to the car behind, letting it roll, crutch down, selecting first gear. Now, again, just keeping half a car length back, waiting for him coming to pull off, checking the mirrors behind, nothing overtaken. Now be wary down here, please don't stare for Southwick green sign, keep your eyes moving. I did have a pupil fail here for shaving the cars. I knew what you'd done it for because you're staring at that roundabout sign. Southwick greens to the right. So check my middle and right door mirror signal from right. Now learners, we give way to the right at roundabouts, not the goddamn left. Have you got that? So right's clear, so I'm going straight onto the roundabout. Check middle left door mirror and signal down to leave the roundabout. Okay, so we've got, now this is, you'll see along here, this is the end of the independent drive, but I'll just carry on for a few more minutes. You've got the flashing amber. Now that means you can go off the way is clear. So if there's people on the pavement waiting to cross, then we're just going to let them, you're going to go. If they're crossing, then you stop. And this little learner here is indicating, so I'm just going to let them pull out. I didn't flash them or anything. I just let them kept well back and let them make their own decision. Now I'm anticipating the lights changing because we've got a pedestrian to the left. Now be very careful, do not stop on the crossings. If you stop on this crossing, it's classed as a serious fault now. I've got my handbrake on, it's in neutral because the lights have changed to red. Now I'm waiting for the flashing amber. Now that means I can go off the way it's clear, so I'm straight onto over the other side now because there's enough room. The bus in front's turning right. Quite a busy little road this actually. And we've got another pelican crossing. Again, just watching for anybody pushing buttons. There's nobody at the crossing, so off I go through. And again, this particular roundabout this mini roundabout, again, just as I repeated before, don't give way at the left at mini roundabouts. You give way to the right, the left gives way to you. Middle right door mirror, signal for right. Checking to my right is clear, and I'm just pulling out onto the roundabout. Just following this guy around with the trailer and just keeping well back. Now the next roundabout he asks you to follow the road ahead second, next I'll take the second road to the left. Either way you don't signal, so please don't signal at this roundabout on approach to the roundabout. So again, just anticipating that van pull out. You've got a couple of parked cars. There's the sign saying second left, check your middle left door mirror, covering the brake early, gently braking, selecting the second gear, keeping the brake still, bringing the clutch to the back. Ambulance is on the right, but he's nowhere near, so there's not a problem. Middle right door mirror and signal to leave the roundabout. Okay, that's the end of that video tutorial, and I hope it helps you pass your test first time. Thank you.